I'll start recording right now. Okay, so I've been working on this project called Careers Launch to help students like me figure out what they want to do in the evolving career landscape. Since there are so many careers out there, many of which students might have never heard of, and AI is also changing what companies are looking for, which makes career planning more difficult. Careers Launch is here to help students in high school and middle school learn what they want to do in the future. Um,
Nice. Wow, that's really needed. I'm gonna put Jackie on it. I think she's your age. She might be a year after you.
mhm. Yeah, I feel like so many people my age, a bunch of my friends, they have no clue what they want to do in the future or what's available to them, which is why I created this to kind of help with that.
Does it help guide what to major in college too?
Yeah, I have a few resources for students to kind of look into, but I think, yeah, this is also primarily for jobs, but also like what you want to major in college.
Very cool. All right. Well, what can I do for you?
Okay, so first start off with, can you explain what you do?
Yes, so I am the Chief Revenue Officer at a startup called Subject.com.
Mm.
We are a e-learning, it's a SaaS company. We also do a lot of videos, a lot of content. It's really for districts for their students to really use us to either, for initial credit or for credit recovery also for high school, middle school, and in next year we're going to be going into elementary school
Oh, wow.
students. Yeah, and we sell across the entire US, across all the districts. And yeah, we've been around for about 5, 6 years, and it's a small but very quickly growing company. Been doing 2x revenue year over year for the last 3 years.
Wow. How did you first become interested in your career?
Well, I think there's multiple paths. My path was really kind of like a roundabout way, but I think I've always been very interested in business, sales, obviously, marketing. The entire go-to-market function is kind of what I've been doing. Never really, when I was in high school, I didn't set out to, go down this career path, and I think that's also why what you're doing is very important, because a lot of people don't figure it out until 2 jobs after college, right? And there's multiple career changes, which
Yeah.
is fine. But it's really for me, it's really like I like to look for the opportunities in the market and go there. And that's why I'm really excited about startups because we're always trying to do things a little bit differently.
Yeah, that's cool. What was your first job or internship like?
Oh, my first job was at a mall. It was like scooping ice cream. So it's very different now. I think you guys really have a solid understanding of what experiences you need to get into that next role. But I think, back in the day, people they just did what they did. So
Yeah.
I was scooping ice cream. Um, Even in college, I wasn't really like thinking about what do I want to do after college. So yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned that you didn't know what you wanted to do after college while you were in college. How did your path change over time?
I think it was more so I was always like really interested. Well, let me back up a little. So after college, I ended up in finance. It was actually more personal finance. I got my Series 7, 63, which is the California Blue Sky laws.
Mhm.
So I was on track to be like a personal wealth management, like a stockbroker, right?
Yeah.
I was in my early 20s, first job out of college, and one day I woke up 2 years into the role and I was depressed. And so at the time, I was like, well, I shouldn't be 21 years old and depressed. So I quit
Yeah.
my job and I went backpacking in Europe for 6 months. I
Oh,
basically
wow.
just picked up and left. And I was out there for quite a while, like for 6 months. And then I went to Asia. And
Mhm.
then out there, I started a business that was around, at the time, there wasn't anything around like festivals and musical events. So we put together a lot of these events all around Taiwan, right?
That's
And then
cool.
when I came back, I that's when I decided to go to B school. I think just with the experience launching a business in a foreign country, that actually got me in. And then from that point on, I was like, I live in the Bay Area, and I think it's really about your network and people you
Yeah.
know. And so there were a couple of like my first startup was I think at the time it was Ustream. So it was a live streaming company before YouTube Live, before Twitch, right? One of the first live streaming companies. So I did that for a while. And yeah, just kind of went from there.
That must have been so exciting, but so scary. I can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody kind of goes through a little bit of like, what do I want to do with my life? And it's okay. I think at the end of the day, you'll figure it out. But you really, my suggestion to anybody is like, you don't want to ever be stuck in a job you hate because that makes the days long. It makes it just like you really have to try to find what you like.
Yeah. What were some important choices or experiences that helped you get where you are today?
I think it really, like I said, I think it's your network, right? So because I was up in the Bay Area, and at the time there was a lot of like startup growth, a lot of new ideas, new ways of doing things, new paradigm shifts, and knowing a person who can introduce you to somebody else who happens to be hiring for a role, that's really like the proximity to where the decisions are made is
Yeah.
really important.
If you could go back to high school, what would you tell your younger self?
Um, Probably to take school a little bit more seriously.
Hmm.
Um, I was like a solid B, sometimes C student, right? Definitely not overachieving.
Hmm.
Very late bloomer. So maybe I wouldn't even tell myself that. I think at the end of the day, everybody matures at different rates. Um, but but yeah, I mean, if I'm talking to my kids or anybody who's like at that age,
Hmm.
it would be like, don't stress out, but really like focus your time on things that you love, right? Don't just
Yeah.
do a little of everything and nothing at all.
Hmm. Yeah, I feel like that's really good advice. I think I definitely struggle with kind of like the balance of stressing over schoolwork, but also enjoying what I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys have a lot of pressure. I think it's because all your friends and peers, they sound like and they feel like they have it figured out, but
Yeah.
it's okay to not have it figured out too.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice. Um, what does a typical day or week look like for you?
Well, I run the sales and marketing teams. So, at a very small startup, when I joined last year, a lot of it was just building the teams, right?
Yeah.
It's a lot of hiring. It's a lot of like org planning and future building, right? Now we're in execution mode. All the teams have been hired. Everybody's in their roles. So it's really enabling my team to be able to do their job and hit their numbers, putting a lot of structure, a lot of systems, a lot of tooling. You mentioned AI. We are very, very deep in how to transform our organization using Claude. So we're a Claude shop. And even now, there's just certain role. My marketing team is like four people, right? We
Oh,
don't need
really?
a 10-person marketing team anymore,
Yeah.
right? All the design jobs you can do with AI. Even recruiting, we're using a lot of AI to do that. So that we've set up multiple agents
Yeah.
across the org to take on those roles.
Yeah, so you touched on how AI impacted kind of your marketing and recruiting. Are there any other, you think, branches that it spreads to, or do you think that it's mainly those two?
I think in terms of pure job replacement, so we also do a lot of production.
Mhm.
Production is a very heavy, like I'm talking video production. It's a lot, it's a high cost, like heavy lift, very human process. But now there's a lot of AI, at least with, B-roll and just content that, isn't um, it's more replicable, right? So there's like layers of AI we can add in so that the videos don't look completely fake. And then there's also tooling that helps us reduce some of that production work. On sales, though, I do have to say it's really hard to replace a human because people like to buy from other humans. So when we use AI, it's really to help them kind of get their top of funnel leads rather than replacing the entire sales human.
Yeah, I think that's good. I feel like I've heard so many people talk about how they're worried that AI will take over all the jobs and everything, but I think there are so many fields that you really just can't replace a person in.
Yes, I think you have to know how to use the tool, right? Don't
Yeah.
don't be afraid of it, but if you can use it, then you're doing the job of like three people, and that's your job security, right?
What kind of projects or problems do you work on most?
At the moment, it's a lot of like go-to-market strategy. So we are in, a lot of the US, a lot of states. We're not in all states, but when we do venture into a state, how do we sell to districts in, for example, Florida, right? Their alignments. In California, you probably know we use Common Core, right? In other states, they don't use the same curriculum alignment. So we have to align to their standards and actually build the content to align to their standards so that the students can use our platform to actually graduate. So it's a lot of that, a lot of like looking at the competitor, doing the analysis on where they might be the strongest and how we can take business from them.
Yeah. So sorry, I don't know if you can hear it. There's a very loud lawnmower in the back, but I hope it's not. Hope you can't hear it over Zoom. Um,
No,
what is,
actually, it's pretty quiet.
oh, perfect. That's good. I was a little worried. Um, what is your favorite part about your job?
I think it's working with people. We're actually we're fully back in office.
Yeah.
A lot of companies are going back to hybrid, but prior to the pandemic, everybody was kind of in the office, and then it was like 3 years of everybody remote. Now there's a lot of in-office work, and our company is one of them that requires people to be in office. So we have an office here in Beverly Hills, and then we have one in Austin. So we travel a lot, and my favorite part is just working with the people.
Yeah, that's nice. I feel like that kind of connection, especially at work, is that must be really nice.
It's just much easier, right? Like things
Yeah.
don't come across as well on Slack, but you can walk over and you can collaborate and it's more creative that way too.
Yeah. Um, what are some challenges or stressful parts of your work?
Um, Really, it's being able to forecast the
Mhm.
growth back to the investors, right? So, we know we have a certain number and certain set of KPIs to hit, but getting there is the execution, and that's the hardest part, right? It's
Yeah.
really easy to plan it. It's really hard to hit the plan and to hit it with accuracy. So, my big push to the team is like we don't want to just hit numbers. We want to be accurate about how we hit the numbers because next year, if we're trying to double the numbers, we need to know where that's coming from and that it's predictable. So it's like the science behind all of the very messy human things we do.
Yeah. What skills do you use most often?
I would say I'm very good at delegating and being very clear about outcomes and what people, need to do to be successful and then to motivate. So I'm a big believer of giving people autonomy, giving them the freedom and trusting them and really challenging them. I think, I'm a very good motivator. Um, yeah, I would say that's that. Analytical too. So anything that I do always tracks back to the why, and there's always numbers to back that up.
Yeah, those are amazing qualities. I feel like I struggle so much with delegating, in school and out of school. I feel like that's definitely one of my weaknesses. So it's cool that like you have such a good hold on that.
You're gonna get that once, you are more experienced in life.
Yeah, I hope
I
so.
mean, no, listen, when I was your age, there was no way I was gonna like you're very far ahead. So don't ever feel like you're behind.
Yeah. What kind of education or training do you need for this career?
I think an MBA definitely helps
Uh-huh.
because at the end of the day, you need to be pretty clear on what drives a business and all the outcomes and all the numbers behind it. Um, do you need an MBA to be a sales leader? Probably not. Marketing, probably not. I think nowadays the information is so vast out there, and the way to get it and to harness it through AI is just like so prevalent.
Yeah.
The MBA really like back to the networking thing is to have to help you grow your network, right? You are kind of the company you keep. People respond to people. So if you are in a group project at school, whether it's a business school or a PhD or whatever, and you've worked with them and they trust you, guess what? Next time if there's a new business that's opening, they're going to have you come and run it versus trying to hire somebody else from externally. So networking is very important for business school.
Yeah. Are there certain classes, clubs, or activities you'd recommend in high school or college?
In high school, I think the goal is to get into the good colleges, right?
Yeah.
So obviously, like everybody's chasing all the APs, all the varsity sports, right? I mean, we won't talk about that because I think there's a whole discipline behind how to get into college.
Mhm.
But once you're in college, I would encourage you to just explore. You're not there to get to the next step, right? You're there to become an adult, learn, and live your independent life and find what you love to do, and then hopefully launch into your career. So in college, I would recommend just a ton of different things that you never normally would have tried.
Yeah, I think that's definitely good. I feel like I'm really excited for college when I can like branch out more. I feel like I'm so busy right now in high school and there's definitely limited opportunities to do that. But I think, yeah, in college.
You're
uh,
pretty much set, right? What you need to
Yeah.
be doing right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's normal. I tell Jackie, like, look, you have 4 years. She's actually going to be a sophomore next year, so you have
Oh,
only three
wow.
years,
Hmm.
and that's it, right? You have
Yeah.
3 years. You get into college, and then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Sophomore year is definitely an experience. I feel like it was so fun, but it was so much more difficult than freshman year, and I wasn't prepared at the start of the year for that.
Are you going to be a junior?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing internships?
Yeah, I have an internship over the summer and 2 summer programs, so I'm a little bit busy.
Yeah. Okay, good. Good, good, good. No, I mean, your parents are like so on it, so
Yeah.
not worried about you at all.
Um, did you do any internships, jobs, or volunteer work that helped you?
No, like I said, I was like a very late bloomer. And
Yeah.
my parents were not the type, they came from Taiwan, so
Mhm.
they weren't educated in the US. So
Yeah.
there was nobody to like mentor me or talk me through what I should be doing.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I mean, I think I kind of like blossomed late in life. Didn't really do any internships. What did I do? I did some clubs at school, some sports, nothing really to like write home about. Academic decathlon,
Mhm.
debate. But yeah, it wasn't like anything too out of the ordinary.
It's so impressive that you got where you are today, especially not having that guidance from your parents. I feel like I definitely relied on my parents a lot, especially in middle school and then ninth grade for where to get started. So it's so impressive.
I don't know. I think it's you're gonna come into your own. You're gonna have your own thoughts as to what at the end of the day, you just have to do what you love and the passion shows through. Take initiative, right? The one thing I tell kids or even just the young adults is you don't you don't want to be promoted into a job that you're trying to get promoted into. You're
Mhm.
really just trying to do the job even if you're not even in the role,
Yeah.
because what's going to happen is if you kick ass at something, you're going to naturally just fall into it, right? Whoever is in leadership roles, they'll see like Kai is really good at this,
Yeah.
she's already doing it, I'm just going to promote her, right? So
Mhm.
it's really about like taking initiative.
Yeah. What should someone do now if they think they might be interested in this kind of work?
I was just talking to one of our interns yesterday about this. I would say get into, if you want to become a go-to-market leader, you kind of have to go through the rungs yourself.
Mhm.
You can't really lead unless you felt the pain yourself, right? So
Yeah.
you start off maybe as an intern, and then you move into like a BDR, SDR, right? And generate some leads. And then you do your full funnel sales. You become a manager, and then eventually you take over, right, as a VP of the department. There's at a startup, it's very quick because things move like triple the speed of any other org. But it's really just getting that execution experience versus, you're going to school for something and then it's all theoretical. You have to be
Yeah.
able to execute.
Yeah. What kind of people tend to enjoy this field or do well in it?
Really, I mean, I don't want to say only extroverts, right? But I do know that salespeople, go-to-market people are very, very comfortable with being in front of people, and just really enjoy human interactions.
Yeah.
My son is very, right, Jackie's like more like me, but my son is like very, very introverted. He wants to be an engineer and just not talk to anybody at all. And that's okay, right? But in sales, marketing, like you really, really have to enjoy talking to people.
Yeah. That's definitely a good skill to have. I feel like so many people I've interviewed with so far, they've all said similar things. So I feel like that's definitely important to have. What is something that most people don't know or might misunderstand about your job?
I think I think people underestimate how tough it is to execute on a strategy.
Hmm.
Um, the emphasis is always on strategy,
Yeah.
but the dirty work is really where the magic happens. A lot of startups don't make it, and it's 99% because of execution, not because of the strategy.
Oh,
So
really?
really, really it's coming down to brass tacks, really, really like holding everybody accountable to do above and beyond, and that's how you get to your goals.
Yeah.
It's
And
not the
how,
glamorous part, but it's not the glamorous part, but it's what's necessary day in, day out.
yeah. How is your industry changing or evolving?
Well, I mean, I've been in many industries. This one is education, so
Yeah.
public education. So,
Mhm.
first year in, a lot of learnings. I
Yeah.
think there's a big disconnect between what the students are learning
Hmm.
and what's actually happening, in real life. And I'm sure you noticed that too.
Yeah.
What you're learning in school, you're not going to be able to apply in your real life, right?
Yeah.
So, a lot of this, like, the ed tech companies out there try to disrupt it, try to offer personalized learning, try to offer learning that's, bespoke to each student. It's really tough to do that. So that's the problem we're trying to solve.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, I think we can do it, but it takes a lot to change an industry,
Yeah. I
especially
bet.
when it's public schools, right? It's
Yeah.
it's the government, really.
Yeah. Then how do you think AI will change or impact your industry?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good one. So there's a lot of talk around school districts about the implementation of AI. Some school districts are very strict and they don't want any AI, and some are very, very smart about it because
Yeah.
they know that if the kids don't lean into it, they're going to be left behind, right? So it's really the responsible use of AI and how to understand the context behind what you're asking it to do. So we actually deal a lot with that. We build in AI to our systems so that a student, when they're going through a course, they can actually use AI to help themselves get to an answer.
Yeah.
But it's very, very nascent at the moment, and I think everybody's trying to figure it out. But yeah, AI is definitely something that every school system has an opinion on.
Yeah, I definitely resonate with that because I feel like my school, Brentwood, I think they're kind of into AI, but I feel like they don't really push it on us much. So it's kind of up to us to kind of learn about it and how to use it to our advantage. But I just went to this thing called a hackathon over the weekend for my computer science course. And at the other school, they're really into AI. They're kind of showing us like how to use it for every task and what we should be using it for and what we shouldn't. So it's definitely really cool to see how different schools kind of manage that.
Oh, that's great. Good for
Yeah.
you. Yeah. I'm having Jackie also take a computer science course at UCLA,
Oh,
called Generative AI. So
wow.
it's a college course, but I think she'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
better to get started earlier, you know?
yeah, I agree. What's the work-life balance like in your career?
Oh gosh, right now it's probably none. I work like
Really?
70 hours. Yeah,
Oh,
70
wow.
hours a week. It's because we're in growth mode, right? We're doubling revenue year over year. But when we get to the point where we're not doing that anymore and we're in, we have a much bigger slice of the market and the
Yeah.
company is like over 100 million in ARR,
Hmm.
that's when I think everything will slow down. But this is the 0 to 1 stage that that's what I signed up for. So
Yeah.
there's no work-life balance. I try to spend the weekends with the kids but I travel a lot.
Hmm.
But it's also a moment in time, right? I don't expect to be doing this for the next 10 years. I do it in chunks. So 2 years later, the company's in a good place. I might move on, maybe not, right? We'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, my duty is to this company right now and to grow it to a certain stage.
Yeah. Oh, that's so intense. I can't imagine.
Yeah, super intense, but it's fun. Like I said, back
Yeah.
to full circle, right? If you don't love what you do, you'll be miserable. But the fact
Yeah.
that I love what I do, it doesn't feel like 70, 80 hours a week.
That's so nice. That's really good. I feel like that's kind of what everyone hopes for in a job, so it's so nice that you found that.
Yes, and I would say if you want my advice, if you are in a role or a career that you don't like,
Mhm.
quit and move on. Don't ever
Yeah.
feel like, oh, I've spent a year here, I spent 2 years here, because before you know it, you're 10 years in, and then it'll really, really be too late, you know?
Yeah. What do you find most meaningful about what you do?
I think it's just seeing personal growth across the team and company growth.
Mhm.
So I'm a big, I'm very, very competitive. We are trying to disrupt the industry. There's a lot of old, outdated players out there who are not making things better for the students.
Mhm.
And whenever we rip one of them out and we win, that makes me really happy, right?
Yeah. Hmm. And what's one piece of advice that you'd give to someone just starting to think about this career or careers in general?
Keep an open mind, you
Hmm.
know?
Yeah.
It's okay to change your career multiple times, but keep an open mind and really be honest with yourself. Is this what I love? Do you wake up and you're excited, or do you wake up and feel like, oh, this is what I have to do because I want to make money? And if
Yeah.
making money is your end goal, then yes, like that's right. But just be very honest with yourself what you want out of this life, out of this role.
Hmm. If someone wanted to explore your field, what would be a good first step?
At your age, or yes. So I think somebody who's in high school, I would recommend internships,
Mm.
right? And start off in sales or start off in marketing, right? At a very junior role,
Mhm.
you'll get a taste of kind of the whole gambit, and you can decide if you like it or not.
Mhm.
Generally, there's a lot of people who will mentor you once you're here, and you'll learn so fast once you're here.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, we're up to the last three questions, so we're almost there. Are there other people or roles students should learn about to better understand your field?
Sorry, you sounded robotic underwater. You kind of, I think the internet went out for a little. Say that again.
Are there other people or roles that students should learn about to better understand this field?
Oh, I think anything that has to do with sales tooling. So if you're looking at it from a more technical side, right? What are the tools out there that allow people to excel in sales?
Hmm.
So these obviously will include a lot of AI tools as well.
Yeah.
And there's a ton out there right now. So tooling is one. Um, Maybe even the HR side, right? I would really recommend looking at how the HR functions in each company, because it may not be sales, it may not be marketing, it could be something completely hybrid. Like recently, we're looking for a go-to-market engineer. That role didn't exist before, but now with AI, their
Oh, wow.
entire job is to use AI to help go-to-market teams, right?
That's cool.
So that too, yeah, very cool.
Yeah. Are there any websites, podcasts, or videos that you'd recommend for learning more?
I think, all of the startup podcasts, VC podcasts. Yeah, I mean, I recently haven't had time to be able to listen to like a whole podcast. I'll listen to
Yeah.
snippets. But yeah, I think obviously your typical, books, right, on sales.
Mhm.
Um, and that's yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah. And then, what is the best way for a student to gain experience or exposure to your kind of work?
Um, Without being in a company or getting an internship, the closest thing would be like an entrepreneur type of thing, kind of what you're doing, right?
Yeah.
Because now you can use AI to really like stand up a small business. Try it out, right? Maybe this is what fuels you, right? It's
Yeah.
everything is sales at the end of the day. What you're doing
Yeah.
right now is sales, right? You have to be able to sell and tell your vision to people. I would recommend starting there, right?
Yeah.
Start small. Base 44 is a good website that you can use to code an app,
Mhm.
right? I don't know what you use, right? Railway is
Yeah.
another one. But yeah, I think anyone can do it right now. And it's a pretty open field because no one has really figured it out yet.
Mhm.
So it's an exciting time.
Yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for meeting with me today. I really appreciate it. You are so amazing. Oh,
No,
thank
you're amazing, Kaya. By the way, I see all your skating videos. You look so good.
Thank
Um,
you.
but yeah, this is amazing. I wish you luck in all of it. If you ever need anything, just email me again. If you want an internship, let me know. But yeah.
Thank you so much.